Kid Cudi is now on the stand in the Sean Diddy Combs trafficking and racketeering trial. He reportedly had a brief relationship with Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura nearly 15 years ago.
Cudi, who arrived to court in jeans and a leather jacket while smoking a cigarette, claims he was the focus of Diddy's jealous rage while he briefly dated Cassie.
Kid Cudi left people in shock after sharing shocking details in court about the lengths Diddy would go to keep Cassie under his control. We are talking about attempting to delete Kid Cudi, sending him threats, breaking into his house with his goons, endless harassment, and most shocking of all, trying to mess up Cudi's pet dog. Guys, I am telling you, this story will leave you shocked and wondering just how truly sick and evil Diddy was, and some argue still is. So grab your seats and prepare for one of the most disturbing stories to come out of Diddy's trial yet.
Day 9 was a wild one in the criminal case against Sean Combs. The prosecution called rapper Kid Cudi to the stand, and he said Diddy was like some sort of Marvel supervillain when they finally came face to face.
So guys, the Diddy drama just hit a whole new level. His trial is officially underway in New York City, and trust me, it's messier than we ever imagined. The once untouchable mogul is now facing serious charges of trafficking and racketeering, with prosecutors painting a picture of a man who allegedly used his insane wealth and influence to run a full-blown criminal enterprise, all to satisfy his darkest desires. And get this, Diddy's been sitting stone-faced in court, surrounded by a literal army of celebrity lawyers, while the courtroom is hit with bombshell after bombshell. But the real tea dropped when Kid Cudi took the stand on Thursday. According to his jaw-dropping testimony, Diddy literally broke into his Hollywood Hills home back in 2011 after finding out Kid Cudi was dating Cassie. And let me tell you, this wasn't just a petty breakup meltdown. What Diddy allegedly did out of jealousy was next-level unhinged. We're talking Hollywood thriller-level crazy. And if that wasn't wild enough, reportedly this was just the beginning of the shocking lengths Diddy was willing to go to control Cassie. According to Cudi, back in 2011, while Cassie and Diddy were on a break, he and Cassie quietly started dating. However, the romance quickly turned into a nightmare because the moment Diddy found out, all hell broke loose. Cudi told the jury that one early morning in December, Cassie called him frantic, stressed, scared, and completely shaken. It was around 5:30 a.m., and she told Cudi that Diddy had just found out about their relationship. And get this, she had given Diddy Cudi's address. She reportedly had no idea what Diddy would do, but she knew it wouldn't be good, so she begged Cudi to come get her ASAP, and the two fled to the Sunset Marquis Hotel in West Hollywood to lay low. But here's where it gets really wild. Cudi says that later that same day, there was a break-in at his Los Angeles home. And he's not being vague, he says Diddy broke in and even messed with his dog. Like, what? Who does that? Now the police were called and everything because this wasn't just some lover's quarrel. This was obsession, intimidation, and full-on Hollywood chaos. And if Cudi's story paints a terrifying picture of what Diddy was capable of behind closed doors. And let's not forget, this isn't just about a breakup. Now here is where things get really insane. While Cudi and Cassie were lying low, the couple gets a terrifying call from none other than Capricorn Clark, a longtime Diddy associate. And what does she say? Capricorn tells them that Diddy is inside Kid Cudi's house. Yes, inside. Meanwhile, she's just casually waiting in a car outside. Now, Cudi, rightfully furious, calls Diddy and confronts him directly, colorfully asking him why he was in his house. And Diddy? He responds calmly as ever, like something out of a villain movie. "What's up? I just want to talk to you." So Cudi races home, ready to confront him. But when he arrives, Diddy's gone, vanished, like he was never there. But that's not all. Cudi says his security cameras were disabled and moved like someone knew exactly what they were doing. And once inside, he finds personal gifts like one from Chanel opened, tampered with, and worst of all, his dog was locked in the bathroom. And this wasn't just a prank. Cudi says his pup was never the same after that jumpy, nervous, and visibly traumatized. Now here's the kicker. Cudi says he was ready to throw hands. He wanted to go find Diddy and fight him, but in the end, he decided to call the police. And it didn't stop there. Even after all that, Diddy still called him multiple times while Cudi was spending Christmas with Cassie's family in Connecticut. Cudi says he finally told him straight up, "You broke into my house and messed with my dog. I don't want to talk to you." Period. And what kind of man breaks into another celeb's house over a girl, disables the cameras, messes with luxury gifts, and locks up the dog, you might ask? Fans are calling it territorial, manipulative, and downright disturbing. Now, Cudi's testimony was so insane that at one point, Judge Aaron Subramanian interrupted to ask, with a straight face, "He's not going to testify about what the dog thought, is he?" I am telling you, the court erupted. Laughter echoed through the room. And from that point on, the dog became a running joke every time it was mentioned. But here's the thing, it wasn't all laughs. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson did drop a somber note when she added, and the judge, still keeping it real but serious, and agreed because this was a serious issue. Diddy was doing some seriously effed up stuff. Now, the actual legal debate was whether testimony about the dog's trauma should be allowed or whether it was too emotionally charged and might prejudice the jury, but Cudi did get to speak on it. On the stand, he testified that after the break-in, his beloved pup was very jittery and kind of on edge all the time, but shockingly enough, this wasn't Kid Cudi's most traumatizing encounter with Diddy. You see, Cudi testified again about the infamous car bombing incident that rocked his life in January 2012. According to Cudi, his Porsche was literally firebombed outside his home just days after he and Cassie ended their relationship. And get this, Cudi is convinced Diddy was behind it. He told the jury he wasn't home at the time of the attack, but got a call from his dog's babysitter. Yes, the same dog from the earlier break-in incident, telling him his car was on fire. He rushed back to find the vehicle completely wrecked. In court, they even showed photos of the damage, and Cudi explained that the roof of his Porsche had been cut open intentionally, and a Molotov cocktail had been thrown inside.
Cudi, did he do it?
The jurors saw the actual cut, the hole in his Porsche, and then they saw the damage done from that Molotov cocktail where the red interior is ruined and darkened by the fire that started in his car. Cudi, throughout his testimony, insinuated that it was...
Now, this wasn't some random act of vandalism. It was targeted. It was personal. Cudi said he immediately called the cops to report the arson. But here's where things really take a turn. Cudi said he reached out to Diddy a few days later because, in his words, "I knew he had something to do with it." They ended up meeting at the Soho House in West Hollywood, and Diddy's longtime security guard D-Rock escorted Cudi into a private room. And how did Diddy appear, according to Cudi? Like a Marvel supervillain. I mean, seriously, this sounds like something straight out of a Netflix crime thriller. Cudi said they sat down and talked about Cassie, and Diddy was eerily calm the entire time. So calm, it was weird. Diddy told him he thought they were friends and that Cassie was his girl, while Cudi explained that he thought they had broken up. Then Cassie came into the room and told Diddy, right there, that she and Cudi had fallen in love. Cudi said he directly confronted Diddy about the bombing, asking, "What about my car?" And Diddy, without flinching, just said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Cudi testified that he didn't see Diddy again for a few years again at Soho House, of all places where Diddy allegedly apologized for all the drama. But at this point, the damage had been done. Cudi made it clear to the court he knew Diddy was involved, even if Diddy never admitted it directly. This trial is getting darker and weirder by the minute, and Kid Cudi's testimony just added a whole new layer to the madness. A firebombed Porsche, a Marvel-level villain meetup, and a love triangle that spiraled into arson. Hollywood couldn't script it better.
People started laughing in the courtroom as he's describing how he first sees Combs. He said, "I entered this room and Combs was looking out of a window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain." At the end of that meeting, Kid Cudi described shaking Combs' hand and saying, "But let's talk about my car." And Combs said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then he just left.
This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me.
Now things got heated in court when Kid Cudi was pressed about why he reached out to Diddy after his Porsche was firebombed. Without missing a beat, Cudi told the courtroom exactly what he thought. He contacted Diddy because he knew Diddy was involved. That statement immediately lit a fire under Diddy's legal team, who jumped up to object, calling it speculation. The judge agreed, striking the comment from the record, but the drama didn't stop there. Judge Supermanian wasn't having any side conversations either. He shut down the defense's request for a sidebar and told the prosecution to carry on. And Cudi, completely unfazed. He stayed calm, cool, and collected on the stand, answering every question with a blunt, matter-of-fact tone. No nerves, no hesitation, just pure, unfiltered Cudi telling his story like he was recounting it over dinner with friends. Meanwhile, Diddy reportedly sat back at the defense table, arms and legs crossed, giving off that trademark icy stare. He barely reacted as Cudi recounted some wild run-ins between the two of them. One of the more intense exchanges came when Diddy's attorney, Brian Steele, tried to spin the narrative, saying the whole feud between the men was over a woman, Cassie. Steele suggested that both men had been played, and surprisingly, Cudi agreed, casually replying, "True." Steele pushed further, asking if Cassie had been living two lives, and Cudi again, cool as ever, confirmed she had. He went on to explain that he and Cassie had to end things because the fallout was just too messy. According to Cudi, the drama got completely out of hand, and he felt like giving her space was the right move. So not only did we get bombshells about firebombed cars and break-ins, but now we're hearing about a love triangle. Anyways, what do you think about this whole messy drama? Let me know your opinions in the comments. And don't forget to check out our other videos for even more shocking drama from Diddy's trial. Till next time, bye.